Okay, good morning, Baldwin. I'm coming to you today a little casual from my office. We have my dog, Clyde, behind me. He's a little tired. We're going to talk today about some test-taking skills for the Keystones. As you know, taking a test is part knowing the content, but it's part understanding the mechanics of the test as well. If you're able to master the mechanics of the test, a lot of times you're able to boost yourself up one, two, three, four questions, and sometimes that's all you need to go from not passing to passing. So let's take you through what the questions on the test will look like. So the first thing you want to know about your test is you need to feel good the day of the test. Well, you might find that difficult because you're taking a test. I understand that, but your brain actually works a certain way. If you feel bad, if you feel negative, you will become physically weaker. This is a scientific fact. If you don't believe you, go challenge somebody to an arm wrestling contest, and in the middle of that contest, tell them a very sad story. As you tell that story, they will immediately become weaker. They might think the whole thing is a little strange, but that's the risk you take. So, how are you going to feel good the day of the test? Well, that is up to you. You need to do what you need to do. You need to get plenty of sleep. You need to put yourself in the proper mental state. You need to remind yourself of all the things that you would rather not be doing and that you're taking the test instead of. And hopefully that'll be enough to get you up a point or two. Again, it sounds silly, it sounds obvious, but it actually does a lot of work. Let's talk about some specifics when you're actually taking the test. Number one, you want to read the questions first. That doesn't mean go ahead and answer all the questions before reading the passage. That means read the questions, don't look at the answers, and then go and read the passage. Well, why do you do this? Well, it's going to help you figure out what you need to be looking for on the test. Now, there's going to be some back and forth, yes, but you need to really know what you're looking for. Another thing you might want to do, if you have the questions in your head, you're going to want to underline terms as you go. For example, if it asks for a theme in one of the questions, well, you probably don't know the theme to start, but as you go through it, you're going to start to find some things that hint at the theme, so you can underline key terms. That way, when you actually get to the theme question, you're not just blindly searching through the passage, you've already underlined a few things, and that's going to help you out. So, annotate, read the questions first. Some other things. You want to read all the choices. Why? Because the test makers try to trick you. That is their job. They do not want you to score well on these tests. Well, actually, that's not entirely true. I have no idea what they think, but it is their job to give you a really goofy answer, a pretty goofy answer, and then an almost correct answer, as well as a correct answer. So there will always be one that seems like it's correct, but actually isn't. What people like to do is they like to go A, B, C, D, and as soon as they reach one they think is right, they circle it and move on. That's a great way to fall into the trap. What you want to do is go through all four, cross out the really obvious incorrect ones, and then when you're done, you'll be left with hopefully one or two. Guess if you have to. It's always better to guess, but at least you'll be at a 50% chance instead of a 25% chance, or again, falling into one of these traps. The last thing you want to do is to double check your work. So say you finish and there's 20 minutes to go, which is rather common. I remember on the Keystones last time I had pretty much everybody done with a half hour to go. So you want to go through your answers. However, here's one thing. I have found that when you are taking a literature test, which you are in this case, you always want to go with your gut. Well, what does that mean? If you have narrowed it down to two choices and you have selected one, it's your first instinct, it feels right, you're really not sure why, you just kind of go with it. Now, it's possible to go back and overthink and overthink and overthink and trick yourself into picking the other one. I'm sure you've all been there. They have actually found that that's a great way to get answers wrong. Double checking is to make sure you didn't make any mistakes, like a clumsy math error, or you meant to select C but you accidentally filled in D. But it's not meant to overthink and overthink and overanalyze and trick yourself out of correct answers. You will be surprised. You are smarter than you think, and sometimes just by going with your gut, you can actually get the right answer. Here's some more advanced skills. Those were some basic things you want to keep in mind, but here's a few more advanced things. You want to annotate the passage, as I said before. You never want to leave an answer blank. This is not the SAT. You do not get points taken away from guessing. It's always a good shot. So if you can cross a few out and guess, odds are high you'll do well. And you want to pace yourself. Again, last time we took this, many people finished early. Well, there aren't that many questions, and that's great, but you want to make sure you're spending, say, a minute, maybe 2 minutes on each question, even if you think they're easier than that. Pace yourself. A couple things you want to avoid on these tests. Avoid sleeping on the tests. And yes, again, that sounds silly, but you're taking these at 7:45 in the morning, and some people, the goal when they take the test is not to do well, but to go back to sleep. It's very easy to do that. You just write in some random things and go to sleep. Do not do that. You will not do well. Another thing I want you to avoid is writing words with the bubbles, such as Taylor Gang or YOLO. That is cute, and you may get a laugh out of it, but you will fail. And then you will take these again, and again, and again. So please, don't just blow this off. Finally, your phone. The phones are not allowed on the tests, as you know. Many people are good about putting them away. However, whether you realize it or not, you are chemically addicted to your phone. When you feel that buzz or that ding in your pocket, you must answer it. Well, you can't answer it during the test, so what do? You rush through the test so you can get to the phone. Turn the phones off. End all conversations, all text fights that you're having before the test begins. Otherwise, you will be distracted the entire time, and you're not going to do very well. That's just my advice. Well, that's all I have for you today. Those are some tips and tricks for test-taking skills. What I would like you to do now is click below where it says extra questions. There's some multiple choice questions there. I would like you to answer, and then I would like you to proceed to the next step. If you have any questions, please ask me. Thank you for your time and attention. Feel free to watch this as many times as you'd like, and we'll see you around. Good luck on the test.